In the summer of 1890, at the age of 15, a young man left the village of Buk Toi in the Liongdu district, Kwangtung province of China. With the blessings of his parents, he journeyed over 5,000 miles to the Sandalwood Mountains, the Hawaiian Islands. Lau Young, born March 19, 1875, left behind his parents, Lau Yi Cheong and Louis Shi, two younger brothers, Buk Chu and Bong Kao, and three younger sisters. He was not to see his family again for another 16 years. When he arrived in Hawaii, he settled on the windward side of Oahu. He took a position at the rice mill at Ka'alaya as a kitchen helper, earning $5 a month, including room and board. In later years, he would also work as a cook and a field hand, planting and harvesting rice. Having received an elementary education in China, Lau Young continued his studies by taking English classes at St. Louis School, then located in Ahuimanu, Kaneohe. In 1906, he returned to China to marry Li Look, a young girl from neighboring Hungmi village. The marriage was arranged by his parents. A few months later, leaving his wife behind, he returned to Hawaii at the end of 1906. He returned to his position at the rice mill in Ka'alaya and remained there until he ventured into his first business in 1910. That year, he opened a small grocery store in Ka'alaya called Lau Kao Ki. Later, the community would come to associate Lau Young as Lau Kao. The store, located close to the rice mill, catered to the farmers and fishermen in the area. He also started a trucking business called Lau's Contracting Service, hauling pineapples from the fields to the Libby Cannery, then located in Kahaluu. In 1915, Lau Kao sent for his wife and his daughter, whom he had not seen. Dai Moi, later to be called Rachel, was born April 2nd, 1907. She would be followed by 7 more children in the next 12 years. Paul Chu Pui, Henry Chung Fo, Elsie Kwai Hao, Edward Hoi Chan, Ruth Hong Yuan, Harry Hoi Yao, James Hoi Mung. In 1930, Lau Kao expanded by leasing land in Kahaluu from Bishop Trust. The existing Lum Gao store's name was changed to Ko'olau Store. On 1,000 acres of land, 600 head of cattle were raised. He also ran a restaurant, a dairy, and a slaughterhouse. The piggery had corrugated iron roofs with concrete floors, sloping toward a central drain. All waste was collected in that drain and then washed directly into the river. Lau Kao built round brick ovens for the roasting of pork in the traditional Chinese style. Vegetable plots and banana patches provided goods for sale and for family use. Deliveries were made 6 days a week from Kailua to Waimanalo, Waiahole to Kahuku to provide these communities with fresh meats, bread, and pastries. As he expanded, Lau Kao sent for his 2 brothers and their families to help him in his business ventures. The year 1937 saw an end to some of these operations as the lease expired on the land. On June 30, 1937, Lau Kao was forced to relocate. Because of this experience and realizing the importance of land ownership, Lau Kao purchased the adjacent 30 acres of swampland from the Sing Chong Company for $3,000. He and his sons brought landfill from other Sing Chong properties to fill the land fronting Kamehameha Highway and built the second Ko'olau store. Within the next 2 years, a new family home was built next to the store. All the children worked in the family businesses. Later, their wives and their children would also follow. Many, including the wives, remember carrying 75 to 100 pounds of grain and feed by grasping the top of the bag, resting the heavy bag on one foot, and using that foot as a cart to move the bag. Others remember sneaking into the candies, the seeds, and dried shrimp and crackers, as well as filling kerosene into jars and pumping gas at 21 cents a gallon. The warriors saw the store prosper. Many workers from Kaneohe Air Station in Pearl Harbor would frequent the store, cashing their paychecks and purchasing fresh meats, liquor, groceries, gas, and oil. After the war, Lau Kau purchased surplus military equipment, including a crane. He used this equipment to fill the vacant land behind the store and home. He then purchased surplus military housing, which he converted into rental units. Some of these units became homes for family members. Upon retiring, Lau Kau turned his business over to his children and established Lau's Incorporated to take care of his many interests and properties. His son, Henry Lau, wrote of him in the publication Chinese Historic Sites and Pioneer Families of Rural Oahu. Through perseverance and hard work, he had accomplished his goal in life. He did not do it for himself. All of his endeavors were for his children. He was not only a good father, a good provider for his family, but he is also a good community man, very generous, and a good friend to all. As a son, I'm sure I speak for the rest of my family. We are all very grateful for his foresight, and for his accomplishments, and for being a good father. What he did made things so much easier for all of us. Daughter Ruth Lau Chang remembers her father as being a man of ingenuity. In 7 years' time, from 1930 to 1937, he developed a cattle operation, a dairy, a slaughterhouse, and a restaurant, each one undertaken by a man of vision and determination. Lau Li Look, a petite woman with bound feet, was limited in her activities. Her days were filled with raising the younger children, 7 children in 12 years. She had the responsibility of running the household, cooking for the family, caring for the chickens and ducks, collecting the eggs for sale at the store, and for the family home. Daughter Rachel Lau Chun remembers her mother sewing pake pants for the field workers for a few cents each. Son Henry Lau remembers a patient woman who was not above yelling at the younger children in Chinese when they escaped their chores for play. Lau Hin Young passed away February 10, 1959, in the family home at Kahului. He is buried at the Chinese cemetery in Manoa beside his wife, Lau Li Look, who passed away October 13, 1955. But the Lau family continues. First daughter Rachel married Charles Sao Yip Chun, November 13, 1926. Parents to 2 sons, Glenn and Clifford, and 4 daughters, Frances, Bernice, Mildred, and Laverne. Charles Chun passed away November 12, 1973. They are grandparents to 19, great-grandparents to 22, and great-great-grandparents to 2. First son Paul married Evelyn Ching, June 8, 1935. They are parents to 4 sons, Alvin, Lawrence, Virgil, and Stephen, and 1 daughter, Evelyn. Paul Lau passed away February 16, 1996. They are grandparents to 15, great-grandparents to 24, and are expecting 2 more, 1 who will be their first great-great-grandchild. Second son, Henry, married Elizabeth Cipher, December 18, 1939. They are parents to 3 sons, Gordon, Henry Jr., and Milton, and 1 daughter, Harriet. Grandparents to 19, great-grandparents to 9. Second daughter, Elsie, married Hong King Chok, January 11, 1942. They are parents to 1 daughter, Pearl. Hong King Chok passed away around 1945. Elsie Lauchalk passed away March 1, 1974. Third son Edward married Dorothy Wan March 20th, 1948. They are parents to one son, Harvey, and three daughters, Colleen, Levon, and Harva Lee. They are grandparents to seven. Third daughter Ruth married Walter Chang January 7, 1945. They are parents to two sons, Dennis and Brayson, and two daughters, Carol Ann and Arlene, and grandparents to one. Fourth son Harry married Dolores Kalahiki March 18, 1945. They are parents to two sons, Ronald and Jonathan, and four daughters, Charlotte, Beverly, Phyllis, and Rosemary. Grandparents to 13 and great-grandparents to 4. Fifth son James married Priscilla Moy January 3, 1949, now divorced. Parents to one son, Nelson, and four daughters, Pamela, Linnell, Maureen, and Burnett, and grandparents to 8. Today, in 1998, the family, including spouses, totals 235 members, a living tribute to the memory of Lau Hin Young and Lau Lee Look.